And you see the islets. You have, I think there's 5 or 6 islets in front of Maslinica, and people actually swim out to them. And I love how they did all the stone houses. But nice. Wow, look how many butterflies. I cannot believe. I think that's the main beach of the town. We're gonna take the car and go a little bit later. We're gonna go over in one of these coves because there's a shipwreck, and we're gonna film that. Not a bad mayor's office. Very nice. Very nice. So today we are on Šolta Island, and we are gonna explore the island. We are gonna visit as many villages as possible. There's 8 of them in total, and I hope we will manage to see 4 or 5 of them. We're also gonna see if we can manage to visit some interesting other places. There's a winery I would like to have a look at. There's a place where they make honey. But anyway, time will tell if we will manage to do all of it today. But anyway, follow me around. I hope that I'm gonna inspire you to visit this place, either on a holiday or as a day trip from Split or Trogir, or one of the other places which offer day trips to this. So let's go around and have a look at Šolta. So now we came to Maslinica, which is at the western end of the island, and we're gonna have a walk around in this small village to give you the feel of it, the vibe of it. Maybe we can find a few beaches which we can show you. I hope you're gonna like it. I've been here a few times, and I think 100% you are gonna like it. So let's have a walk. We're gonna walk out this arm of the bay, which is the northern arm. And it's a small village. I think the yearly population is around 200, between 200 and 250. So not many people live here. But as you can see, a lot of people around now because it's of course in the middle of the summer season. So there's a lot of tourists here. And I love how they did all the stone houses. Really beautiful. And plenty of restaurants all the way down. So if you should get hungry, there's no issue to find food. Coffee bars also. And we now drove here with the car from Rogač, where we arrived with the car ferry. It's only 9 kilometers, so just a short trip. But if you should arrive on Šolta without a car, it's also very easy because as soon as you are at the port, there's buses which you can jump on to, which would take you to any of the popular villages on town, and they're basically waiting on the pier when the ferry comes in. And I love how many places has bougainvillea up here. You see the purple flowers everywhere around. Also behind us here, a nice one there, easier to see. That's just the epiphany of summer, is when you see bougainvillea around. Then you know it's summer. Ah, they also have tours from here. What kind of tours do they do? Ah, Blue Lagoon. Okay. So this one is a round trip Blue Lagoon on Velika Drvenik. The shipwreck, that's the one in Nečujam. Labadusa Beach, that's on Šipova, so some round trip. Yeah. So we're gonna continue out here because out here we find one of the probably one of the most popular beaches. Oh, there's so many sea urchins. The water is just perfect. Now today there's a bit of wind, but you know, if the water would be more calm, you will see it even more clearly. I think we need to go up here, otherwise we have to go through the water. And we are lucky today, we only have around 30 degrees. A week ago we had, I think, 37, 38. So today you can actually walk without feeling like you're gonna get killed by it. Oh, there's another excursion boat over there. And of course, especially on this northern arm, everything you have here, or most of the buildings here are apartments. You see studio apartments here on this one. And there's a bit of an incline, so they are up the hill here. And it basically continues maybe I would say 300, 400, 500 meters out here, and all the way you have apartments, and also more and more villas has been built with pool. But I would say, you know, if you look at the water here, no, it's of course nice with the pool, but this is also perfect. Ooh, a dessert place. Another one just hanging over us here. Look how many people come on these boats. So a lot of tour boats apparently going here for a stop. So maybe they come from Split or Trogir. It could even be from Trogir. Then you go to Plava Laguna, and then continue out here. Yeah, because it's a short trip. It's definitely not the village which is made for people with a car. You also don't need car here. I mean, basically, once you park it somewhere, you know, everything is so close. And you see the islets. You have, I think there's 5 or 6 islets in front of Maslinica, and people actually swim out to them. Yeah. And I think none of them is inhabited. I think the biggest one out at the end used to have some buildings on it. There was a monastery or something like that on the biggest one of them, but the rest of them, you know, are just nature. And often you see also people with kayaks here go around. So this, of course, protects Maslinica Bay, where you have the boat and the marina in there. Even if you have high winds and stuff, because you have the islets in front, the port is well protected. And you see the pebble beach just continues. So we're just gonna go up here. Huh?
But she dropped and that's all.
No, I didn't. So let's just go down here. No, and you see, still over there, Maslinica, we are not going to go any further out here because everything is basically the same. You have rocks, you have small areas with pebble, you can go into the water. But you kind of get the idea, no matter where you're staying, you know, it's 100 meters, maybe 200 meters, and you're down at the beach. You can jump in the water, so I think really nice. And actually, the house we see out here, I've been on holiday there.
Yeah.
And I can see now there's a for sale sign, so if anybody is looking to get a large villa with sea view, there's an option there. Anyway, we're gonna go back to the head of the bay, and then we're gonna explore the other arm of the village Maslinica and see what we can find there. So let's head back. So now we are back on the head of the bay after exploring the northern arm of the bay. Now we're gonna take the southern one, so please, let's go. And I see they have a most important shop, ice cream place. I might take advantage of that later. And of course the typical tourist stuff. A few shops here. Some fashion shop. Olive oil, stuff you can buy here. And here's the submarine. I don't know what the story is with that one. It's Beatles, the yellow submarine. So somebody must be big fan. Says here it's private property, the place. Art, oh it's art, yeah. Look, but don't touch. Oops. So now we're coming up to something very interesting. I think Maslinica have one of the only, if not the only hotel on the island, which is this you see here, old stone building, Marti Heritage Hotel. And it's a 5-star hotel. So really top notch. And they don't even have a hotel. There's actually also a marina here, which is also belonging to the same company who runs this. Yeah, actually the company is called Martinez Marti, or the building, I don't know, and then the hotel is called Bastina. And of course, they have a top restaurant here. So if you're looking for a peaceful holiday on an island, and you want to stay in a luxury place, Maslinica has exactly what you're looking for. And of course the marina down here, if you come with your 30-meter yacht, you can also anchor up here or more here. I'm still baffled about all these tour boats. I didn't know there was that many, but definitely if you're not planning to stay on Šolta, take one of these tours, because I think getting out to see this, also the shipwreck, which we're gonna see, you'll see later in the video, or the Blue Lagoon, which was part of the tour, all the things are interesting, so I think would be a very enjoyable trip. Anyway, so what we're gonna do next, now there's basically not more to see here in the village, but there's a nice bay with the beach a little bit outside of town. We're just gonna have a short peek at that one, and then we're gonna head on to one of the other villages on the island. You can walk out here, or like us, we came with the car. So now we're on the way to the next village we're gonna visit on the island. It's called Stomorska. So, and that one is basically at the east end of the island. So we're gonna cross the whole island, which is not a huge drive from one end to the other. It's at on the navigation 25 minutes drive, so absolutely nothing. Basically what I wanted to give you a bit of information about Šolta while we're driving here. So it's the island is 60 square kilometers, so it's way smaller than island Tvrdić and island Var, and it's also way less visited than those islands. They both have more than 1.5 million overnight stays and around 300,000 yearly tourists, whereas Šolta only has 125,000 overnight stay and around 15 to 17,000 tourists, plus it also has a substantial nautical tourism which comes on top of these numbers. So completely other type of island compared to Var and Tvrdić, completely relaxed, more original in sense of, you know, there's not any, it's not that commercialized like the other islands. So if you're looking for a place where you want to spend your holiday, which is really down in speed, have a look at Šolta, or at least visit Šolta on a day trip. If you're in this area, it's definitely worth it. Yeah. So now we ended up in Stomorska at the eastern, almost the eastern end of Šolta, and we're gonna have a walk around in this small village, just for you to see if that's a place you want to visit. And as you can see this direction, maybe it's not so easy to see, but Stomorska is turned direction split, and island Šipova on the, yeah, as I said, the eastern end, but basically it faces towards north. So let's have a walk and see what we can find here. Of course, the first thing we see is a small beach. And then we are gonna walk up the eastern arm till the head of the bay and go up the western side also. And it seems to me like a place with a very slow pace. Definitely Maslinica was much more lively. But same setup with restaurants and coffee bars around the bay. And a lot of old stone houses. And there is a few sailing boats here. They don't have a marina like in Maslinica, but you can sail here, like go here by boat, apparently. Wow, this one. I love that one. They really did it nice. Perfect. We have here Nautica Slatulet ice cream. Okay. Used to be, yeah, probably. But another restaurant here, pizzeria. I'm wondering why, driving around on the island, we didn't see any people going on bicycles. But it actually, if you compare to Tvrdić, you could also go on bicycles here, And Tvrdić is so popular with the bicycles. So,
I mean, there is a lot. You're going from here.
yeah, because you have a lot of incline, but you also have that on Tvrdić, Think about Bol, You're almost, done if you have to get up from Bol with a bicycle. Nivera, another restaurant. Or here with the flowers, also with bougainville. Someone did really renovated nicely. What does it say? Here you can buy a ticket. Tourist information. Rent a boat. Ticket for boat. Wonder if they also have some of these tour boats going here. But quite a few restaurants around. And what do we have here? The sweet pub. So this is definitely the center of town. I see the mayor is here. So let's go out the other arm. But I was just looking here now at that stone house. Look how nice this could be made. If somebody would renovate it, put a new roof, do this with paint these, clean it up, it would be fantastic. But so quiet, I cannot believe. We are in July, and it's so quiet.
Much quieter than Maslinica.
Yeah, much quieter than Maslinica. But okay, it's also we saw that in so many places we visited, as soon as they have these boat tours, it just gives, so much life when you have a bunch of people coming in from somewhere else. And we have the cricket choir also here. You think we can go down here or go this way around? Or you have to go behind? Bo, what does it say here? Bo, ko. What's supposed to say here? Just book. Ah, this was the right way, you know. Okay, I don't think I would sit here and enjoy too many beers with that close to the water, you know. Hey. So this is Bok. Yeah, Bokun. Okay, that makes sense. Bokun, yeah, that makes way more sense. Hello, hello. Okay, quite nice. So this is the hotel. What was it called? Arena Hotel. Royal Arena, yeah. Looks pretty good. Some small beach areas here. So, but I mean, basically with the camera, I don't know if it's visible, but out there is a beach. I think that's the main beach of the town, where you also have a beach bar and some other stuff out there. But we're not gonna walk all the way out there because, you know, it is hot and walking around. Yeah, so. Yeah, we're gonna take some photos from the air, so you're gonna see the beach. But I think this is more or less it. It's a small village. There's not much more to show you. So we're gonna head back to the car. We're gonna go to the next village. But hope you got an impression on how Stomorska looks like. Maybe it's something you wanna visit. So now we made it to Nečujam, another village on the northern side of Šolta, facing towards island Šipova. And this village is I think the one which has the most accommodation on the island. But I mean, none of them are really big, but it stretches quite far out because this is the biggest bay there is on the island. So basically, on both along the arms of the bay, you have basically accommodation stretched everywhere around. But we're gonna take a walk around and have a little bit closer look. And back in the days when this was Yugoslavia, there used to be a hotel over here, and lots of these apartments which are now there that used to be part of that hotel. I'm not sure exactly how it is today, but I don't think the hotel operates anymore. Šolta Beach Club, Not sure if that one operates either, but the bus stop is there. And the temperature is high here in Nečujam. I think definitely we passed 30 degrees now, I would say. 33, 34, 35, it feels like that. So it's quite warm walking around. Actually, I should be out there in the water if it was according to the law, I would say. And the pool area, not sure how it works with that. If everybody in town can use that one, or you need to stay in this particular place. But lots of apartments up here. We could also see when we drove into Nečujam, of course, descending to get down to the sea here. You had a lot of parking up at the top behind all this apartment complex. Inflatable aqua park, good fit, and it's quite big pebble here. So probably water shoes, good idea. Yeah, some other coves, because if you look at on a map and see the Nečujam Bay here, it looks like a leaf. So there's, you know, small coves everywhere, and this is basically the main one here where Nečujam is. But people swim everywhere. Wonder what this is. Looks pretty renovated with a good garden. Villa Lucia, it says. Probably apartments. Or do you think somebody has the whole villa here? Oops. They're gonna be run down. Yeah, it seems like somebody has a whole villa here. But definitely this seems like a place for beach holidays, for those who just want to spend most of the day in the water. And they are building a lot. I saw on Google Maps, I was checking in the areas around, there's a lot of new building popping up. So expanding all the time. Wow, 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 wow. And here it's definitely fine pebble, much finer pebble. So Nečujam offers all kinds of variations. Of course, no sandy beaches, but nevertheless. Dino, here we have our basket.
Oh, I think
It seems to follow us no matter where we travel around in Croatia. We always find one when we walk around.
the only thing which we don't bring is the basket
Yes.
and swimming.
Yeah, but it would be a bit of a hassle carrying the basketball all the time, I think. Oh, this is also nice, mate. No, and now see we come out from one cove where you had Nečujam, and then it opens up and you have the other coves over here. Oh, the sun is baking. Nice. So we're not going to go any further, but you kind of get the idea. You see all the way accommodation. Either, I think mostly out here it seems to be villas, but probably also many of them is just divided into apartments, and everything is basically next to the sea. So, you know, once you are at the apartment, you just need swimsuit, towel, and you're good to go. Anyway, we're going to take the car and go a little bit later. We're going to go over in one of these coves because there's a shipwreck, and we're going to film that at least from up, so you can get an idea where it is. And the shipwreck is something you can actually swim out to it. It's not that far from the shore. And you also, if you're staying in Split and other places, you have tours which takes you out here, which will also go to other places. But one of the things you can see in these tours is a visit to the shipwreck. You can dive down, see a lot of fish, probably some octopus and other stuff, if that's something you like to do. But anyway, we're going to go back to the head of the cove or the bay and have a little bit look on the other side. Side of the bay, I don't think there's much out here except just the road and apartments. So all of this out on this arm of the bay seems pretty much the same. Houses, option to swim, either concrete, rocks, or some places a little bit pebble. And then this relatively narrow road in between, so it's simply somewhere to stay. Hello. Oh. And then go for a swim. So I don't think we're going to go any further. This was just to give you as a viewer an impression of how Nečujam looks like. We're going to take some footage from the air, where we will film a little bit further out so that you have an idea how the whole cove or bay area looks like. And then we're going to see if we can get a little bit closer to the shipwreck. So let's go back. So now we are in Grohote, the main town or main village, basically on the island. And we're gonna have a walk around this one. This is not a coastal town. This one is maybe a few kilometers from the coast, a little bit elevated. But I think it's interesting because I have a lot of old stone houses. So let's take a short walk just to see how it looks like. And I think also all administrative buildings or public buildings for the island, they are located here in Grohote. So my plan was to go down this street here. Oh, somebody's into gardening. Anyway, Šolta Island actually have something which is called the Šolta Plain, which is between here and when you're going down the direction of Maslinica, there's a huge area which has basically been for growing food for, you know, since back in the days, and still today. It's where you find most of the agriculture, wine, gardens for vegetables and stuff. So if you're in Šolta, you can definitely get local produce, plenty of it here. and I hope we will manage today, from the time perspective, also to visit a winery, but we will see. See, nice. Pizza put. I think it's either this one or the other. Let's see. I think this one over here. But nice. Wow, look how many butterflies. I cannot believe. So many butterflies. I don't think I've ever seen so many butterflies in one place. I mean, except for not in the outside in the nature, in some, what do you call it, these things in the zoo. This might be the street. Do we see? Yes, exactly. Put Jardine. Because we're just gonna go up and have a look at the church before we head to the. Oh, somebody also fixed that one up. Badan. Okay, now the sun is baking substantially. Main church on the island, or at least the main church here in Grohote. I think it's called Saint Nikolai, yeah, I think actually. It doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure that's it. And there seems to be some Roman ruins or something like that. At least some ruins. No. Saint Stefan. Yeah. Saint Stephen. Okay, it's actually not that old. It's built in the beginning of the from 1914 to 1942. Okay, there was of course an older church there before. So, immigration from Šolta. Oh yeah. So it used to have 3,700, and now I think at the last consensus in 21, they estimated a little bit under 2,000. So but definitely, what is almost, I think literally all the buildings are stone houses, old stone houses. Oh, there's a holiday house for rent. Yeah, even though there was, what house is, there's 4 coastal cities with beaches and 4 cities on the higher areas of Šolta Island. And all the coastal cities are on the northern side, and of course, so there's nothing on the southern side. On the southern side on the island, you have a lot of bays, which is basically where you have this nautical tourism. You have a lot of boats going and anchoring in these boats, and in most of the bays, these bays have a restaurant, but you can't really get there by foot. No, there's actually a building which is not stone house. And here also. but still nice gardens, huh? They're really good with the plants. Kind of love it. Oh, so nice. So nice. Just beautiful. I don't know if we went too far. I think we're gonna go to the left here because there's a kind of, not a fortress, a castle or a tower at least, which we're gonna see if we can find. I'm not sure if this one takes us anywhere. I mean, it had a name. And there's pavement. Oh, here's some really old houses. Definitely it's not a place you're gonna go with your car. Oh, I think it's good. Look, old. Okay, if there's some people who think, you know, we are up for a task, here is the task. Such a huge job. Okay, that one is nice, renovated. So somewhere down here, oh, there's a place called Bratska Kuća, but where? That's a good question. So we are on the right way. We just talked with a person who was in the area, knows a lot about it. Bratska Kuća. I think here maybe. Do we see the tower? I think it's over here. It's over here behind. Yeah, here it says Bratska Kuća, but where is the Bratska Kuća? Because I saw somebody took a photo of it by the entrance, and there was a big sign saying Bratska Kuća, so it can't. Here, no, this is Tvrdić Sajnica. That's not Bratska Kuća. Here's the tourist board, but there's also an art gallery in here. So, and it used to be fraternity house back in the days. I don't know how long. Okay, it's dating back to 1561. Ooh, nice. Really nice. Okay, there's also a library here. It's a library. Not sure what it is. Art gallery. And up here, probably that's the tourist board. Merduje. So that's some, yeah, kid stuff. No, because when I was researching about Šolta to find out things I didn't know, I saw an image of Bratska Kuća, and there was a big red sign of this size, which actually with big letters said Bratska Kuća, but now I see it stands here, but that's why I couldn't find it. I was looking all the time. Anyway, now I think we need to go to the tower. I think this way there's a nice little gate here. I think this way here. So the tower has been used for various things. I think it was built in the 16th, no, it must be 1700, so the 18th century. And 17th and 18th century, one part was built in one century and the other one in the other century. And the lower part, I think on the bigger one, has been used, I don't know if it is today, but it was a cistern for water. And today I think there's public administration in the upper levels. Yes, jeg også sige her. Yes, Općinski načelnik and yeah, the mayor. Not a bad mayor's office. Historical one at least. Wow. And the police is even here. I didn't even think I thought they had police on it. I actually didn't thought that they had any police. I think that was basically it. It was just a short walk in Grohote. I'm sure there's many more streets you can explore, but it was just to give you an idea. And we're gonna continue to the next village on Šolta. Yeah. Now we stopped in Grohote, in the outskirts of the town, because we read that there's a place which are experts in bee honey, and we are just gonna have a look and see what that is. If that's something you should visit when you're here on the island, so let's go and see what they actually do here.
Oh, I'm so happy to you came to visit my place.
So I saw I checked your website and I found it on the map, and it looked very interesting. So I basically just wanted to hear what you're actually doing here.
Exactly. Yeah. This is my classroom. I am a beekeeper.
Yeah.
I am a third generation beekeeper in my family, but my family came from Split. I'm not a local guy, but last 30 years we live here.
You live here, okay.
But this is the true Shakespeare. Not
to be or not to be. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Wow.
This is our, how to say, museum. Okay, it's not museum, but this is not honey from Šolta. This is honey from all 6 continents.
Wow.
Because we make a mission, give bees a chance, send us your honey.
So they actually send it to you?
Yes, and people.
Wow.
Sending honey.
I cannot believe, that's interesting.
800 jars from all 6 continents.
Wow.
In 10 years, not in...
No, but still amazing, yeah.
Yes. I think I know where is the Danish.
No.
Okay, this is
this is Danish.
This is Norway.
Norway, yeah.
This is Norway.
Yeah, but this one is Danish.
Yes, bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo, you find Danish, yes.
But amazing to see the difference in the color.
Not only color. Okay, I don't open jar, but it's a difference if you smell it.
Of course.
It's a million different, because it's a million different flowers everywhere.
Of course.
Honey, look, from Iceland.
Yeah.
This is very north. I have honey from Alaska. I have honey from Punta Arenas.
Wow.
Close to Antarctica.
Yeah.
And here, somewhere it's a bee is alive. What do you think where? What do you think where is the bee?
Behind that door.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes. But this is not normal hive. This is a presentation.
Yeah.
But normal.
In the normal one, yeah.
50, 60, 70,000.
In one of these, you see.
One of these, you can see outside.
Wow.
Please follow me. It's full of bees.
Wow.
And this is old hive from
the that's how they look before.
How they be before.
How many years back was the hives like this?
Beginning of 20th century. And bees make this, not me.
They make it.
Of course.
So from the beginning, the frame is empty, basically, or what?
And imagine today, right now, 10 o'clock, open hive. Imagine, I put inside.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, 10 o'clock.
It's gonna be like this.
24 hours.
So how does it work? You have the mother or the queen bee.
Yes.
So if you set up a new beehive. How do you get a new mother? Where do you get her from?
For example, last 20 years I can buy queen. No, I buy from the registered beekeeper who produce queens.
Aha.
If I want to start, I must have a queen. I must have 2, 3, 5, 10,000 worker bee and empty frame. Then I must start, but not in July. I must start in March. It's my pets, it's my life, it's my business, hobby, whatever you like to.
Very nice. Very nice. But you can see definitely the difference in the color. Yeah. This one is darker than this one.
You must use all fingers. You must come to the end and try to follow the line.
Aha. So I need to roll it all the way.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please.
This is not the first wax light I make.
You do something sour.
No, I tried it 30, 40 years ago when I was young.
Oof.
Yeah. So,
Push like connected.
see?
Yes. A little bit.
So they need to go inside somewhere?
Yeah, wherever you like.
So, this is what you call fine art.
And I give you a special bag.
So now we are in Rogač, which is actually the fourth coastal town on the northern side of the island. But this one is not like the other ones. The other ones are more really holiday towns. Rogač is the main ferry hub. This is here where the ferry is going to come in, and also the fast ferry. So it's the main traffic hub of the island. But besides that, you see it's a bay. Of course, it has houses. You can also stay here. Lots of them are holiday apartments. So definitely that's an option. And Rogač also have a beach over here. There's a city beach just on this other side here. And one bay further out, there's also some nice beaches. So definitely an option. But because, you know, with the ferries, that's mainly the main thing which is going on here. That's why, and it's not so walkable as the other cities, which is why we don't do the walk around as we have done in the other villages. But anyway, now we're going to go down to where the ferry comes, and we're going to see when the ferry arrives. And we're going to also make some footage from the bay of Rogač, which we're going to show you, so you get an idea how everything look when you elevate the camera a little bit. And Rogač has one important feature which can be very helpful to know. It has a gas station. Not that you're going to spend much gas if you're visiting Šolta, simply because the distances are, you know, limited, or the trip length, what you can do here is very limited. So if you come with a bit of gas on your car, you shouldn't even need to fill it up. But if you should, then you can do it here in the Rogač. And of course, the reason also is that they have gas station for the boats here. So. And you have an ice machine here. If you have a cocktail evening, then you can pick up a bag of ice. And the ferries to Rogač run all year round. So you're not going to be stuck on the island. If you decide to go here, you can always get back. The car ferry runs up to, I think, 6 times a day here in the summer, 5 or 6 times. 3 times in the winter or something like that. Anyway, we have a video on the channel where you can see all the information, and also on the website, so you can just check that out. And of course, there's also a fast ferry, which sails a couple of times a day, most of the year, and once a day here during the main season. So do not worry, it's not a Robinson Island. There is connection to the world outside. So this is the end of our video about Island Šolta. We spent almost a whole day here, or 7 hours here. We came this morning with a ferry and we have been around visiting 5 villages and a place where they teach us about honey. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it gave you an idea if Šolta is a place you want to spend your holiday, or at least if Šolta is something you want to visit on a day trip, especially if you're staying in Split, because that's very easy. Now we're at the ferry port. Our ferry is arriving here, so it's back to Split. Hope you liked the video. Please give it a like. Check out our website. Follow our channel. Till the next one. Thank you very much.